mighty ones. Another point of contention among Hebrews, Israelites, and Jews today. But the truth of the matter, based on the grammar of the Hebrew language, Alahiym is plural. So that's one way that you do it. Another way that you make a term plural, you can either add a thal or a waw and thal at the end. So in this case, what you had zitzit. Now, it's derived from this term zitz. Alright? Now, zitz is the primitive root, or this is considered a child root because it incorporates. Now, as we discussed earlier, whenever you're dealing with parent roots, which are the two letters, I'm going to put that up there in a minute. Whenever you're dealing with the parent root, whatever the parent root produces first is considered the child root, which will simply be a doubling of the last letter or the addition of one of the vowels. Now, there are 4 vowels in the Hebrew language. Aleph, He, Waw, Yod. Those are your 4 vowel letters. Okay. Now, in this case, you have the addition of the Yod, which makes zitz. But the parent root, simply put, and I'm going to write this in your pictograph. Okay. You have 2 pictures here. Now, they look similar to the nun, but it's not. It's different because you see, they found them laid out, as if in a horizontal rather than a diagonal position. Now, what that pictograph is, man on the side. Okay. Now, the question is this: what does that teach? When you think about the function here, and you think about the different ways that you can view this, what does that teach us? Well, one thing that it teaches us, and the fact that it's 2 of them, you have sides. So it's something pertaining to sides, right? Now, another thing that you find in the position that they're laying, we look at the term zitz. Now, it says properly, and this is number 6731, properly a glistening. Now, when you think about a glistening, think about something that's shining, and whenever something shines, there's that brightness. For example, let me, if I can just use, let's just say the sun. I'll do this. If you've ever seen the sun, they have the rays of light that beam out. And see, these right here is what's being referred to as the zitz, because it is something that is coming forth from an object, and that's the glistening, that's the essence, the shine of it rather. Okay? So it's similar to an appendage. Alright? That's why when we look at the term zit, if I can go back up, it says a floral or wing-like projection. In other words, something that projects. That's why you have this man laying on the side, because it gives you the idea of something projecting. Okay? But then, in order to solidify that as being the meaning, what they do, they add the appendage, the yod, okay, which we already saw, the yod, which is the hand. But then when you look at the pictograph, it's not just the hand, it's like the hand and part of the forearm, okay? So this is to solidify that it's referring to something that projects. They add the yod, or the creator adds the yod to this term. Now, to add to that, he puts the thal at the end. And as we just discussed, grammatically speaking, when a thal is added to the end of a word, it makes it plural or more than one. So whatever zitz it is, you know that it's something that is going to be born, and it's going to be more than one of them. But also, when you look at the thal, if I put this pictograph down, because it's something else that we're going to learn, this is a mark. In other words, what we learn from the word zitzit, it's something that's going to be on the sides. It's something that's going to be an appendage for a projection, and it's going to be a sign for a mark, which is the fringe gum. As you see here. These are your fringes. Okay? Now the Bible actually specifies exactly how many of these you're going to have. We're going to look at that passage a little later. But the focal point of this lesson, as we started out, and when I asked the Most High, because there's a lot of controversy about this among the Hebrews, Israelites, and even today among the Jews, in regards to who should be wearing the fringes. So now, because of feminism and this equality of the gender, you have a lot of people who are accepting women wearing fringes. That's why we went the route that we went, to show that the fringe is not just some simple old pair of strings that you're going to wear, brothers and sisters. This is a holy garment that is significant of the rulership that was given to that man, not to the woman. And this is not to belittle this, because you have an important role and your sign is equally important. We're going to get to that little, not today, but when we do the next lesson, we're going to get into the other part of this passage. What it is that has been given to you, which is equally important. Okay. Now, it says, continuing in Numbers chapter 15, 39. Alright. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look upon it and remember. See? So now, when you look upon this, what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to now remember, in other words, call back to mind. So let's look at that. Now, we looked at the term remember already when we were dealing with Shabbat. But let's take a look at it again. And if you recall, in that lesson, one of the things that was read in the definition for the term remember is that you remember, ironically, you remember a particular term that's also derived from the term zakar. So let me put that up on the board for you again, just for your seeing. Okay, again, this is the car and the number 2145. Okay? And properly, again, it means remembered. All right? Now, same term as in 2142. I believe the number we looked at was number 2142 the last time. But it's still Zion, Kaf, Resh. Okay? And Zakar. Right? Now, the parent root, as we discussed, we had, oh, sorry, I wrote the wrong letter up there, my apologies. It shouldn't be the kuf, it should be Zakar, with the kaf, or the chaf. So this is the parent root you have, and what this is, now this is more, this was the open palm of the hand. Okay, these are supposed to be like the fingers. Open palm of the hand. Okay, and of course you have the resh in this pictograph form. Again, and all it simply was the head of a man. Okay, and what we discussed the last time, you had the opening, because of the open hand of the head, or the opening of the mind. The intent is to mark hence. You have the Zion, which serves the purpose of marking. Let me do something real quick. Look at my notes. My apologies. Let's go back here and check this real quick. Now I have the modern pictograph, of course, but I need to see the other form of this Zion real quick here. Now the purpose of that then would be to be the actual tool, which would be the marker. Okay? Alright. So the zayin would be something like this. Okay? And this was a tool. Now, I say a tool which could also serve to be a weapon. Okay? But the presence of the zayin in the term zakar only serves as what was being used to make the mark, so to speak, so as to remember. So when a person wanted to remember something, they would take the tool and they would make a carving or something on it, okay, to remember there's something particular about this. So zakar. But what we were asked to remember, when we go back now to the definition, number 2145 in strong, properly remembered, when it says that is a male. Think about that. Properly means to remember a male as being the most noteworthy sex. Think about that. Okay? Okay. Let's just take it in Hebrew from the simplistic version of it. So here you have a garment that's commanded. This garment is something that a woman should not wear pertaining to geber, the strong man, the support of the house. Okay? This same woman is told